All right, you have made it to week 2. We are continuing our discussion on relationships, Y2K, Y20k, whichever girl, we out here struggling. Stay tuned.
Whatever.
But we were talking a little bit about the dating apps.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'll say my history with the dating apps. Um, when that little 3-year situation ended, um, I spent 2 months, I would say, without any dating or, well, any dating, I would say. Um, and then I started on the apps. I had Tinder. I had plenty of fish, but then I saw somebody that was in jail. And so I just like deleted that whole situation.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I remember like having a conversation with them, like, what do you do? They was like, oh, I'm kind of like, um, I'm I'm working on something for a while. And then I looked, I was that's a j.
so he's still
I
there.
said,
He's still there today. Okay,
he is.
got
He
it.
It's
make he
a,
make 25 cents on the dollar.
I
I
said
feel
it's
that.
an immediate no for me. So I got the
Yeah.
fuck off of that. I don't think Hinge was a thing when I was on the apps. It was Bumble. And that's what I was on. And see, where I was living was near USC, which is where I went by own. And it's a lot of black people, but it's also a lot of white people that go to USC. And so then I was still having some like, oh, like where the niggas at? Where the niggas at? And so then I started finding where the niggas was at, and then I just started like going on dates. Like when I say I was dating, and I was also in school and doing my internship, and so I was just like, okay, Saturday I'm gonna go to lunch with one and then go for a nightcap with another. Like I was out here, okay, dating. But I did meet someone who said that they liked the way that farts smell. So that was a no for me. And then there was one date that I was on where I was like,
Right.
I'm literally never going to hang out with you again. And after I get dropped off, I'm going to block you. Um, and there was one person that was like, cool, but then like stopped talking to me and then tried to come back. And I was just like, no, it's a no for
Mhm.
you. And then I met Joe and let him tell you, he'll say that I curved him for 2 weeks. I didn't. Like I said, I was in grad school and I was doing internships, so I was also busy. And so we didn't meet, but then we started FaceTiming, and then I was like, okay, he kind of cool. And he was in Chicago. So then he flew out here, we hung out, and then he went back home. And I think he had actually he sent food to my job one day before we had even met in person. And so I remember my coworker being like, "Damn, you got niggas sending you food from out of state. You must have gave it to him good." I said, "Actually, I haven't even met him in person yet." Hmm.
Period. Pooh.
Hmm. And so we hung out. It was a good time. Whenever he got back to Chicago, I'm like, "So when are we gonna hang out again?" He's like, "When you want me to come back." I said, "Oh, next week, you know." So then like we started hanging out and all that, and he did not we didn't I'm the one that brought up sex. Cause I was like, damn, okay, we've been hanging out. You ain't tried, like we've kissed, but like you ain't tried nothing. You ain't brought up nothing. Like what that they do.
What's up? Yeah. What's up?
So then when I found out what that did, I was like, well, you're my boyfriend. We go together. This
Real
is a
bad.
thing
Real bad.
forever. And sorry to the other girls, but you ain't never going back on Tinder. Period.
love it.
But I have to say, I did have some horrible dates and some horrible experiences. I had somebody say, like, "Oh, I'm actually in a relationship, but we're looking for someone."
Oh, goodness. What?
If y'all like that, I love that for y'all. For me, though, it's enough for me.
Mm-mm.
America.
Ooh, so my story is a little different, but maybe similar. So
Okay.
I alluded to maybe on one episode. So I was in a relationship from sophomore year of high school until two years after college graduation. So it's like 8 years. So the whole dating in college thing and learning how to do that, I never got a chance to do that. Also, was at UNC, and at the time, it was really predominantly white, and so I was
Right.
paying attention to nothing, and they weren't paying attention to me unless we was drunk on Franklin Street. But so I was in that relationship, was gun ho, even though I was not happy in that relationship. Got to right at 400 plus pounds in that relationship. In my mind, like, you're gonna be my husband, like, we're gonna do this. And then he pledged, good for him. It didn't work and went straight to shit. And so after that, I was single, like I said last time, I think 12, right at 12 years. In the midst of that, I didn't do a lot of dating at first. So at first, I was like in a complete and utter cocoon. So I was in grad school. I lost 200 some pounds. I did that whole thing during that time. Like, I was focused. Like, you couldn't tell me shit. And so even then, like, once I lost the weight, I got the degree, I'm doing the things, I'm making the money, I still wasn't on no dating app. I wasn't really interested in getting to know nobody. Now I realize it's because I think in my mind, I thought we were going to get back together because I had this belief that, like, you the first person I thought I loved. Now I know that ain't the truth. But you the first, I was like the Southern values, right? Like, oh, I first person I've done these things with, you're gonna be my husband. So like I think I was like tunnel vision. Like, I'm just gonna wait for you to get your shit together and then we're gonna be together. And then one day, something motherfucking clicked.
Okay.
It's like being a bad bitch and waiting on some nigga that don't want you. Oh, okay.
Right.
Check, got it. I don't, it was like an overnight thing. But even then, I got on the dating apps, and my friend will tell you, I'm the swipe left queen. I can do 100 swipes, and I probably might swipe right one time. Like, I'm there because I feel like I can pick up on the energy. I'm gonna pay attention to what your profile say. I'm paying attention to your pictures. I'm intentional as fuck. So like, if you ain't talking about nothing that makes sense, I'm not even gonna entertain it. So when most people were out dating, like Jasmine, you dating, having a good time, I didn't do that. I was just on the app like, it's a no. You gonna piss me off. You gonna get on my nerves. You gonna piss me off too. Why you look like that? What's that in the background? Da-da-da-da-da. It was like that whole nine.
Your dog is cuter than you.
Right. And I didn't even like animals then. And I still was like, oh, okay, I guess. So it was like a lot of no, I'm good, no, I'm good. So I would get on the apps, get off the apps, get on the apps, get back off. I met a couple people kind of sort of during that time. I had a little situationship for a while. Until he dismissed himself. Well, I guess I dismissed him. Yeah, I dismissed him. Until I dismissed him and his foolery that he had going on. And then I still was like, all right, well, fuck these niggas, get money. Like, that's literally how I was. Like, I don't give a fuck about no nigga. Like, I'm about to focus on doing what I need to do. So I got right back in grind mode, was working 2+ jobs, just like stacking. I ain't doing nothing else. Might as well make money. And still like meeting people in person, I guess, because this is pre-pandemic. So like, I would meet people, you okay, I guess. Text for a couple days, I'm bored, I don't want to talk no more. Might meet up, it's just not, because I want energy. Like, I need, bitch, I deserve energy. So if you're gonna come at me, I need you to come at me 85 out the fucking gate. Like, you need to hit the gas. And I don't want to hear about me having big lips and being curvy and big.
Right.
I don't want to hear that. Right. And so anytime it was that, it was immediately no. Nope. I don't want to hear
I
that.
feel that.
Nope. 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 So, and don't get it fucked up. I had some situations in between,
Okay.
sitting on the couch staring. Most of the time I was sitting on the couch staring. But there was some here and there's, nothing major. Like I really was just minding my business. Got off the apps again. And then 2020, my birthday 2020, I got on the app again and I was like, hey Lord, it's me again. And I was like, I'm going to give this 3 months of like very intentional effort. Now I'm not going to be on here all day, but by this point I had changed my rhetoric because it's a long ass story. Sorry, y'all. During this time, I told y'all I was very much fuck niggas get money. So my thought process was niggas ain't shit. They ain't never going to be shit. Fuck it. Like I got it. I've been doing it this long. It was that whole thing. There was a switch for me somewhere during the pandemic. And I was like, okay, I can't be telling women to be intentional about their words and the mindset that they have if I'm not doing the same thing. So something clicked around my birthday and I was like, all right, I got to be intentional with the language that I'm using. Yes, I've been single for 12 years. I will not be single this time next year. And like, I was Snapchatting, like taking a midday break to say that I'm manifesting a man with BDE and like I would do that. And the niggas, why you start fucking with me? It's me. No, nigga, it's not.
No, it's not.
Keep pushing. So I would do that weekly. And I think niggas really thought I was like trying to thirst trap. No, I'm like being very intentional about what it is that I know I want next. I wrote this whole manifestation around what my partner would look like, how we would spend summer 2021. Like when I say I was like focused, I was focused. Got back on the apps, talked to 2 dudes, I think, max 2 dudes, met one in person. He was weird as fuck. Like he was creepy. I was like, okay, this ain't really. It made a lot of excuses, but at the time I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep you over here because it's something to do. And we weren't doing nothing sexual. It's just like you somebody to talk to. And you helping me think about the conversations I want to have with the person that I want to be with because this is a no. So I used him kind of as like my trial run. Yeah, my practice. And then the day I decided, I was like, okay, I've only talked to these 2 dudes. I got all of these matches. Everybody talking about sex. I'm not interested in none of them. Okay, I was like, today is going to be the day that I get back off these apps because I think I need to recenter. And it was like right at my 3-month mark. 3 months to the day. I am standing in my living room and I am about to delete BLK. And I go to delete BLK and it says, you have a message. And I was like, who the fuck is this? And I was like, okay, I guess. Let me see what he's talking about. He literally starts the message with, good afternoon. I hope all is well. My apologies. I know we matched earlier in the week, but I just started this new job. It's kept me really busy, but like I'm off today and I would really love to talk to you and get to know you. And with all the WIDs and
right, right.
I was like, nah, because I said today is the day I'm gonna delete it. And I'm like walking through the living room, like I got a client in 3 minutes, and I need to decide if I'm gonna delete this app. And I was like, I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna delete it. And then someone was like, bitch, don't block your blessings. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna respond back. Responded back. I was like, I guess. But like, we talked on the phone the first time, and he, let him tell it. I still was kind of like, I guess. Our first FaceTime, I was like, got him. Because he was like, Google-eyed. And then I was kind of Google-eyed too. And I texted my friend and I was like, bitch, I just met my husband.
Oh,
she was like, girl, please. And I was like, nah, for real. And she was like, but like career choice. And I'm very much fuck 12, So I was like, this shit ain't gonna work. Like you 12, I don't anti-police, and I'm still very much, how I feel. But
minus this one.
Minus this one. And it's weird because this white girl who I no longer talk to told me in 2019, she was like, I got a feeling you are going to meet your husband in the next couple years. She was like, the thing is, I don't know if you'll have enough self-awareness to know that he's your man, because he's not going to be the things that you thought he would be. And she was like, there's going to be one thing about him that's going to really throw you off. And she was like, it might be enough for you not to deal with him. And I was like, girl, get on my face. But that was enough for me to almost not deal with him. And I remembered that conversation, and I was like, all right, let's see what happened. We met in person. I have been talking a long time. I'm sorry. We met in person, and it was immediate. Like, I think we talked on the phone. We FaceTime for like 2-ish weeks. His first weekend off was also his birthday weekend. We spent his whole birthday weekend together, and he asked me to be his girlfriend. And
dang,
here we are, a year and a half later. Year and a half? Yeah, a year and a half. And I think just like with Joe, he didn't lead with sex. It wasn't, we ain't gonna let me come hit. We ain't gonna let me this. We ain't gonna let me that. It was very much like,
or like, oh, you showering without me?
Ew. I the first time I responded to that, I was like, I said, oh, this is gonna be make or break. He said, what you about to do? I said, I'm about to get in the shower. Okay, well, call me when you get out.
Oh, you didn't ask for no picture?
You didn't ask to get in? You didn't say without me?
Without me?
Fucking I stood there, y'all. I was like,
mouth is ajar.
A gas.
And I'm waiting. Like, okay, I'm gonna wait, because I just know you about to. Never. And then because he lives in a different city, just like Joe, like when it's that time of the month and things are going on, like I can expect a DoorDash delivery at the door, and it's gonna be all the things that I like and all the things that I need during that time. He walked through that door. It's always flowers, a bottle, a card, whatever. Like he was very intentional in our first conversations. It wasn't, I want to have sex. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. It was very much, what do you need from me? You seem, like I told y'all before, you seem really busy. You seem like you got a lot going on. Like, how can I support what it is that you're doing, what you need? And I made that comment about the things that I need, and I have not really had to make that comment again, because it's always he show up and do. Right. So I think the takeaway there for me, if you want to like compare both of our stories, even though they're different, like, because our journeys have been different, the similarity there is the fact that the man was intentional. The men were intentional when they approached us. It wasn't on no weird shit. It wasn't on no sex. It was literally like, yo, I see you. You don't have to do all the extra. Like, I see you for you, and I want to be a part of that. Yeah. And I don't want to take away from me and Jasmine, because we both dope as fuck. But I want to be clear that it wasn't us necessarily. It was the fact that these men made this choice that they were going to do right. We didn't do anything to make them do right or make them show up this way. I mean, maybe we did. Maybe we did. No. They show up because they want to show up.
Right. That part.
And we were being intentional by making sure that we weren't falling into that whole, oh, where you at? You know, you about to shower without me situation. Like, no, any instance I got like that you was gonna be on some of that, it was a no for us. Absolutely. And so just making sure that you are in alignment with what you say that you want.
Yeah. Had you entertained the motherfucker that's talking about trying to get in the shower and whoop, 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 and send me this and send me that, then you would have blocked your blessings. You wouldn't have been open to receive that matched energy.
Yeah.
Right. Because,
and I want to say something. It's not that it was never a complete, like, fuck that nigga, I'm gonna ignore him. Right. Sometimes we did, like, I can't speak for you, but sometimes it was like a, stop playing with me, LOL, laughing, and it would be like a little bit of a back and forth, and then it's like, all right, no, never mind. So I want to be clear, because I think when I say that, people are like, oh, so it was a hard stop. Sometimes it has been
sometimes.
But sometimes it might be like,
But if they was kind of cute, then maybe.
like, okay, hey.
I mean, yeah, like the foot fetish guy is a good example of that, right? Like he
Mhm.
was
Right.
fine, and well, he was cute. Let's not give him too much credit. He was really cute, and you know, it was, him leading with the foot fetish. Like I said, it wasn't a deal breaker for me.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, what else you got? You know what I mean? I already know this about you. What else is there? And he just proved that like that's not what he was looking to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm grown. Like I don't have time. I know where to, and I'm sure there's so many single women that are like this that are to this point. I know where I can get dick.
Yeah.
Accessible.
Absolutely.
Right.
No sweat off my brow. You know what I mean? So, and at the same time, it's like you don't want to start completely over with new dicks. There's just who has time for
Right.
that?
Right.
But at the same time, something that's worthwhile, that's worth it. Yeah, I feel like for me, if my energy and my intent is on the app, there's 7 billion of us in the world. There has to be somebody with some big dick energy and some common sense that has the same intentionality as I do.
Right.
And we can
And
click and vibe.
right. And like we just shared our stories, like you can find love on the app. Can.
Yeah.
I didn't
Where
say
they
that
at
you
though?
always will. Right.
Mhm.
But you making sure that you're operating in a very intentional way and not wasting your time or allowing anyone to waste your time. Did I say that twice? Whatever.
Like you're not wasting your time, and
I
then
know
you're
what you meant.
allowing somebody else to waste your time.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Um, what else do you, well, how long has it even been? I'm
It's
like,
been, I would say, an hour.
We might as well keep going so we can split.
I was just gonna say, like, some other issues that I've noticed in relationships or the dating world is just not being honest about what you truly want.
Yeah.
Say it.
Speak on it.
Yes. And I think that goes both ways. I think it goes back to the scarcity mindset of I
Mm-hmm.
gotta play the cool girl. I gotta play it chill. Like, yeah, I want a relationship, but he don't want a relationship with me. And he's telling me that he got some stuff that he's working on, so I'm just gonna wait. And then I think that's also for men too. Like sometimes men will play the game and do what they gotta do in order to get what it is that they want. And a lot of times what they don't realize is, at least from what I understand to be true, if you just told a girl you just trying to clap some cheeks in the beginning, or you tell them that early on, that's all you want to do and you're not trying to date, you might get a little bit further than you do playing the game and pretending like you want to do right when you know you don't want to.
Have some fucking game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this has been my thing, right? Because when I turned 30 in June, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give the apps, well, I gave them each a month, right? So I put in 3 months. And like, where is the game at? You know, my whole thing is, if I were a guy, knowing that I was on the dates, wanting to date, if paying for dinner and not feeling like a woman just wants a free meal out of you is an issue, then have a Rolodex of like 10 or less restaurants that you can afford. Nothing over that menu is maybe $35 a plate. That way, if she goes for the most expensive thing, you can afford it, whatever your pocket is, right? And just get, like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm tired of being like, I just, to have to tell men that are our age that I'm not coming over to your apartment. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah,
the
we've talked
first
on the phone.
hangout.
Yeah, we FaceTimed. And no, I'm not fucking coming to your apartment the first time meeting you. I watched too much Forensic Files for that shit. You're not about to catch me slipping.
You should.
You know what I mean? So Yeah. And that's the whole, oh well, oh, use me for free dinner. And I'm like, are we still doing that? I was doing that in college, yeah. I was
Right,
broke
but
and
not at
hungry, right?
30. Like, please
Right,
be able to buy
yeah.
your own dinner.
No, there's still women dating for free meals. Yeah.
Evidently, because the men are hurting out here. They are hurting.
And they always on Twitter arguing about it.
Yeah. Because not every date, right, needs to be a $200 date, right? Those are the
Right.
debates you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, not every that doesn't need to be, especially a first date. Uh, mm, we can debate about that, right? But that doesn't have to be every experience. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
And at the same time, if you got to screen people, which I feel like is acceptable, then talk on the phone. Learn how to do that. Learn how to have a conversation. Because if you can't do that, I don't see how you would be dating in a relationship in the first place.
I just wonder what makes men think that you having a dinner date and them feeding you then entitles them for box. I think that's
Right.
the thing that will always blow me. These chicken tenders were $15
At most.
at most, and they weren't that good. I didn't even eat them all. And now you think I'm so, and because I don't, I'm some
I'm
broke bitch.
uppity.
I'm
Right.
uppity. I'm a broke bitch. I'm this. I'm bougie. I ain't never
Yeah.
been a broke bitch. I've been called
What?
a bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
But now you some bougie bitch because you don't want to have sex with me. No, sir, not over some $15 chicken tenders. And it really makes me like, I know society places value on men and their worth is around being providers and how much money they got. I understand that. But I will never understand why that's still a conversation in dating, that I'm not coming to your house, or why the house seems to be your first thought process for a date. I'm not really sure I understand that. And I'm
It
not
makes no
understanding why
fucking
we do
sense.
this.
That's why.
But then we
And it's
do, some of us do it. That's why they still
right,
don't have.
right, because there is that chance that it will happen. You will find the girl that's like, oh, okay. Do y'all consider this to be a date or not?
Right.
No, I don't, because you know
No.
exactly what's going to happen when you go to his house. There's literally no effort at all.
No.
You're driving to go visit him to then watch what? Netflix for maybe 10 seconds before he asks you to give you a massage and then pulls down your pants and tries to fuck.
And you said something earlier
Somebody just swerved the car because that was like, oh, girl.
they hurt themselves. You said something earlier, Jasmine, too, that I wanted to highlight. You said Joe flew out to you. And I think that's important because he came to you. And I try really hard not to fall into like gender norms and the standards and all the things, but the reality is that's how it should be done. But when I just saw this thing on Twitter where this girl was flying out. So that's like this recent tweet I saw where a girl was flying out to see a guy that she hadn't met. It was going to be their first meetup. And she texted him the morning of. To me, that's always a red flag. If we plan on meeting, why am I texting you first? You should be texting me. But
Right.
and she texted him and he was like, I'm not in a good mood today, to be honest. And like she was like, oh, well, let me know what's going on. Do you want to talk about it? No response. She sent this man multiple text messages. She still got on the plane. And while she was on the plane to go meet him, he blocked her. And she got there and was mad. And my thing is, Miss Mama, what did you miss? Sir told you when he said he wasn't in a good mood today, and you had to text him first twice, that y'all won't go meet.
Yeah.
I read it and was like, what's the...
Yeah, because the signs are there.
The signs are there.
You had to pay for your
attention
flight to go meet him for the first time. You had to text him the day of to see was things still straight. He tell you, I'm not in a good mood, to be honest, and didn't say shit else. and you still got in your car and in an Uber and drove to the airport, sat and waited, and thought you was going.
Yeah. I mean, people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
I was watching Love After Lockup a couple years ago, and that reminds me of what was that girl name? She was dating Michael, the black one. I don't know what that girl name was, but can't remember at all. She flew to go and meet him when he got out of jail for him to not answer her calls.
Megan, because he was Sarah, who was his wife and baby
right.
mom.
Yeah, like he was with his family.
Yes.
And so he told her, like, didn't he tell her don't come or something like that?
He was standing in the airport scanning her boarding pass. And he was like, yeah, today ain't gonna work.
And she still went.
And waited in the hotel for him for 2 or 3 days before he popped up.
Whoa.
You got me fucked up.
That's worse than Sheree getting stood up over
coffee.
That
was sad,
coffee. Y'all. That was sad. But
was
you know
it?
what?
Sheree, did she pay attention?
Exactly. At your age, mama, you ain't talked to him at all that day, and you still felt the need to drive up there? No. Yeah. If I don't get a confirmation that we're still meeting, bitch, I'm not leaving my house.
Just like that.
You think I'm about to pull up?
You think I'm about to pull up on national television?
Agree 100%. But for some reason, y'all, I felt so bad for her. I don't know why. But anybody else, I'd have been like, well, he answered the phone. What the fuck was the like? What was the thought? But it was some. I guess it was how they shot the scene. Sis was just
should have just sitting there.
No, it's definitely the editing, but also maybe the fact that she's like middle-aged woman doing that shit. Maybe that was also it too.
It really made me sad, y'all. Like I felt bad for her. I did.
I felt bad that she decided to do that.
Maybe that's what I felt bad about then. She decided to do it.
Because first off, he's a convict. Like
convict music.
You just got out of jail and you are actively choosing to be in a relationship with him. Please.
Yeah, that never works.
But I think that goes back to like, even if we use Megan and Michael, because wasn't Sheree talking to him for a long time or something?
Like a long time.
Holding him down since
holding him down.
Seasons ago. Why are you holding this man down?
Yeah.
Need to be holding down. She by Sheree.
First off, She by Sheree can be found on Amazon.
Or Shein. That's not funny.
Every so often I'll go check the Instagram page to see what's dropped.
She posted stuff up there?
Nothing. I'm about to go look.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. Damn.
I just feel like, in the words of our hot girl coach,
yes,
I don't even chase liquor. Why would I chase a nigga? And I don't even chase.
I don't even chase liquor. Why would I chase a nigga?
Why would I chase a nigga?
You're the prize.
Men are lovely. I'm still not about chasing a nigga.
Moral of the story: don't chase these niggas. You replace these niggas.
And stop believing that you can't do better.
Because you can and you will. You can and you will. And you deserve someone that you don't have to beg to take you somewhere.
Yeah.
If y'all only hanging out in the car.
In the car.
Not in the car.
Not y'all still out here having car dates. I am going to be sick of y'all.
No, seriously. Car
I
dates.
just grinded
You
somebody's
guys.
ears.
You
I
guys.
just, gra- I just made somebody so mad, and I'm sorry, but I want you
And
to
spilt
do
the drink in the
better.
car on themselves.
I want better for you.
Oh God. At 25 plus?
And I was gonna say in 2022.
And you
Yeah,
deserve
no.
somebody that's gonna invite you someplace other than their apartment.
Yeah. 100.
And
Especially first time anything.
Yes.
and see, the thing about it is that like the apartment date wouldn't be horrible if like there was some effort put into it.
Yes.
Like if they cooked a full blown meal.
What you about to say?
I'm not.
That would
I'm
have to
not
be
talking.
like,
No, I'm talking
for
about
me, that
after
would have to
y'all
be like 3.
establish something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that would have to be
No,
like
this is
date
Yeah.
3
no.
or
This
4.
is after y'all
Yeah.
establish something. Like y'all been
good with it.
talking. Y'all done went on dates and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like okay, it's boozy. It's spooky season.
Yeah.
Like they prepared a charcuterie board for you, a
Mhm.
meal. You know, they
Yeah.
have the movies lined up and
Yeah.
intend to watch the movies with you and not smash
Right.
during the movies. Like that's what I mean.
Right.
It wouldn't. That's not bad. That is the date.
Mhm.
But it's whenever the date is laying on their mattress watching Netflix.
You was about to say laying on their mattress. Won't you?
With no headboard.
With no headboard. Don't play with me. I know what you was about to say.
With no headboard.
Ooh, shit.
Oh man.
But okay, Jasmine with an E, I want to ask you this because I always ask my ladies this, and you can answer or not. But my question is for you, and I think this is something like the lady said to me a couple years back. If who you are looking for and who's for you walked up to you right now, would you know it?
That's loaded. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe seeing him would be, if I had to see it to believe it. Yeah. I would hope so.
I'll say that whenever I was in the dating space that I wouldn't have because Joe was different than I had dated.
Yeah.
And so initially I was like, what do you mean?
Right.
But then I was like, oh, you are what I need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had to remind myself, and I think I still find myself trying to remind myself, is it is safe for me to allow for someone to be kind, to provide safety, to love me, to make me feel good. Like it's safe to allow that to happen. Because when you've been single for so long, again, 12 years, fuck niggas get money.
Right.
Like, you can't do shit for me.
Right.
Like it has been a complete disruption of that mindset and the belief that I've had. And so I still have to work hard every single day to remind myself that this space is safe enough for me to be my full self, for me to be loved, and for me to enjoy things, all good things, because I deserve all good things.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm in a space where that's what I want. And so I don't have the time or the energy for the foolishness. And so, yeah, it's very, I think when I am on the apps, yeah, it's sparse. Whereas back in the day, right, it used to be like, ooh, how many can I keep in rotation? How many, can I keep their attention or vice versa? And whereas now it's like, I'd rather just take the quality on the quantity, and it's a lot to wade through.
Right.
And it's a lot quieter and less chaotic when you are dating that way too.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Now I feel like there, what would you guys say on being pursued versus putting yourself out there, right? Because I feel like I will let a guy know that I'm interested. Like I'm not gonna like, play the little cutesy game, bats the eyelashes. Like if I'm into it, I'm into it. Versus versus just sitting by and necessarily waiting on them to make the first move or at them to make a certain move.
Hmm.
When you say putting yourself out there and you letting them know that you're interested, what does that usually look like?
Right.
Like verbally, yeah.
So
Nothing like
like,
flashy or anything, but like just like, yeah.
you, so you just be like telling niggas like, I'm interested.
I'm into you. Yeah.
And how do they usually respond?
Usually, well, face to face is much better in my opinion. Because then you can read body language, but usually it's a flattery kind of caught off guardish, you
Mhm.
know, but then, things don't always work out. You could be interested and then like 1, 2 dates later, it's like,
Am I
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
For you or for
Well,
them?
now that I know more, I would say my latest experiences I've walked away from
Okay.
and had to like set just, and also I'm beyond ghosting now. So I'm just well, other than like foot fetish guy. He just got the green text. Um, but other than that, I'll just, set the boundary, be like, yeah, we're cool, but I wish you well. That's my go-to. I wish you well. Bill Withers. That's all I got for you.
I think there's a way that you can put yourself out there and still be pursued.
Right.
I think they can go hand in hand. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can clearly communicate and state what your needs are. You can clearly demonstrate what your boundaries are. Um, you can still operate from a place of allowing them to show up for you in the ways in which you want them to show up. You can still be open to what it looks like, and
Mhm.
they still be the one doing the pursuing. Because I think the same way women we talk about fear of rejection, men have the same fear of rejection. So when
Oh,
you're
for sure.
communicating to them like, hey, I'm interested, and then that's when you
Mm-hmm.
not take a step back, but you kind of like step to the side. It's almost like you throwing the ball to them, like
I put the ball in their court. Yeah.
exactly. And now
I
it's
feel
up
like
to
it
them.
takes the guessing out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think we
Yeah.
do that sometimes of like, oh, I like you, or I'm interested in you. And then we don't really communicate what that means. Because I could say I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested in you, but that could just mean I want to hang out with you more. Or that could mean I just want to have sex with you, or it could mean I want to date you. So I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes we don't clearly communicate what that means and what we're looking for after that. So when
Right.
we throw the ball with no direction.
Mhm.
And sometimes they require some direction. I
Yeah.
know people hate that, but sometimes they require.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if we're going to go all the way with sports analogies, you need a play, right? You
Yep,
can't just be throwing the ball out there.
correct. And
Right.
that's what we tend to do. We tend to just throw it and hope the shit land or he catch it or whatever on the
Hmm.
sport we're playing. And it's like, no, like now I got the ball. What you want me to do with it?
Yeah.
And knowing that interest looks different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for myself, because like I said before, I'm so outgoing, like if I like you, you'll know. But that doesn't mean that like I don't still want you to show me that you're interested. Like
Yeah.
I'll let you know that it's okay to kiss me.
I wonder if that's a cancer thing. Because when I'm in my pocket, like, don't, you know, I'm in there deep. But when I'm out and, wanting to mingle and stuff, it's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think that there is a way to allow people to know that there is that interest there and be pursued, and still feel like you are desired and they're putting in that effort.
And I'm very different. You're not gonna know I like you. That's it.
Straight like that.
Like
Straight like that.
You're not gonna know. And I don't know if it's my big three are all Sagittarius. My Venus is in Scorpio. So like there's a lot of like mysteriousness to me. Like people all the time, like, I can't read you, like I don't know. Good. Okay. So go with it. And I'm not the frilly, delicate kind, like, don't get it fucked up. You're gonna treat me like a flower. But like I'm not that delicate, flirty kind, but that's not my approach. And I think because a lot of times women operate from a place of, I want to be nice and flirty. Sometimes men take that and run with it. But I'm going to give you real clear boundaries. You're going to work for my approval. Like you're going to work to engage in this situation. Like there's that, what's the book called? Men, Why Men Love Bitches or whatever. And really when they're talking about bitches, they talk about women, right? But when they're talking about bitches, they're talking about women who have very direct ways of having conversation. They're talking about women with very healthy boundaries. They're talking about women who are very grounded in their worth. And so those are considered bitches. We are considered bitches. But men tend to gravitate towards that because it's not the frilly, ooh, I hope you like me. It's like, you need to make sure I like you. And so my approach is a little different. But I also think that's kind of why I've been in this bubble for so long, because my approach is different, because men don't know. I'm still wondering if you liked me from 3 years ago. If you had to wonder, I probably didn't.
Straight up.
That part.
Because I get what I want.
So what are some tips that we have for people that are trying to navigate the dating world?
Be yourself. Stop being the cool girl. Don't do it. Reconsider. The best thing you could do is just be yourself. Yeah. If things don't work out, it takes, in my opinion, it takes the sting out of it, then you're not the person. You're not the guy. Straight like that. You are not the guy. It also helps to know, and it sounds so cliche, to know your worth, but being self-aware enough to know what blessing you are and will be to someone else. Really and truly, those two things, it'll work out in time, which is a construct.
Had to add that part. I would definitely say to be in alignment, meaning making sure that what you say you want, your actions are following that. Don't say that you want a relationship, but accept a situationship. Don't do that. If they are not giving you what you want, then hold yourself accountable and say, nothing is better than settling. And lastly, I would say just making sure that you are doing it for the right reason, that you are not trying to find a relationship to fulfill some societal expectation of yourself.
Yeah.
That you are coming from a place of wanting love and companionship and partnership. That's when it'll come. And not every relationship is the end all be all, and that's okay. Sometimes a relationship is just there to show you, a new restaurant to take your new nigga.
I would say know that red flags aren't going to go away. So pay attention to them because they don't lie. And I think so often we want to minimize the red flags, or maybe it was this, or maybe it was that, or no, that's not that big of a deal, or it's gonna be fine. But the reality
That's
is
better than.
it's better than the last one because the last one was this and the last one was that. But the reality is these red flags are really our gut, and they're letting us know that something ain't right. There's something about the situation that is probably violating a boundary that we have, or it's tapping on a value that we have. And so we got to really learn to pay attention to that. It's hardly ever going to change. And then, focus on the present. Focus on the present, not focus on the past, and not so forward thinking that you're not able to enjoy the present. Like, we tend to go on a first date, we romanticize, oh, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, he want me this, that. We can do this, it seems like this, it could be that. Versus like, okay, what do I know to be true in this moment? This is somebody I went on a couple dates with. It's fun. We seem to have a good vibe. It feels good. Bet. But we want to create our own damn rom-com first 15 minutes into meeting somebody. And then what that does is that puts so much pressure on us to show up a certain way. And then we put so much pressure on this new thing, and it's not able to sustain that pressure. So we got to really be mindful of that.
Yeah. So many of us get caught up on that moment where we get to call our homegirl and be like, girl, I just met my husband. And
even though I did say that before I met him.
Well, but I mean, not how many times is that actually genuine versus how many times have you like said it and then like 2 weeks later be like, oh, fuck that nigga.
Never mind. Right.
Straight up.
Very true.
And we just want to remind you all that your value is not determined by whether or not you have a relationship, whether or not you choose to get married. Like, your value is not determined by any of that, period.
At all.
So this has been a very enlightening conversation. I feel like we've given you a lot of different experiences with dating, the dating apps, and things like that. So hopefully you found something that really sticks with you. And as always, you can go for a hike. You can do some jumping jacks every hour on the hour. You can do CrossFit or Pilates like Jasmine and drink all the kale smoothies. But if you're ignoring the things going on in your head and in your heart, then you're still not truly healthy. So go on ahead and seek therapy. My therapist is full, y'all. She just told me this. She got a wait list now. I said, damn. But yes, seek therapy, and we will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.